relationships and intimacy comes in many forms. It might be a romantic partnership. It might be a new bestie. It might be all the things, but it starts with you being you and exploring so much about you and opening yourself up to what the world has to offer. Hey y'all, I'm Samantha, a therapist here at Headspace, and this is Ask a Therapist, a series where I'm going to be answering some questions submitted by you all and our members to see if I can provide a little bit of guidance for those who might need it. This question is from David, and he's asking us about envy.
How can I best handle feelings of envy? More specifically, how do I deal with it when I'm experiencing this feeling toward another individual? I'd also like to learn how to approach these situations so I can better educate my daughters when they're experiencing similar emotions between themselves or toward others.
That is a really great question, David. I think many of us have experienced envy, especially in a world where social media allows us access to so many different things, people that are on different journeys and doing different things that you might think you should be doing, but comparison is absolutely the thief of joy. If you're able to reframe those thoughts, if you're able to think about it like, I'm not jealous of the person, I'm comparing my situation to their situation. If when it comes up and you start to feel like, I want what they have, there are some questions you can ask yourself. What is it that I feel like I should be doing right now? And what do I need to do to get there? Because their journey is not going to be like your journey. It can be originally, I'm jealous of that person. But there also has to be an immediate reaction of self-reflection. Wow, what is that telling me? It might be telling me that I want to maybe explore this field, or maybe I'm really not feeling fulfilled in where I am. So what should I be doing? Not necessarily to get to where this person is, but possibly to actually get alignment with your own values, your own goals, your own mission. And I think that that's what's important. So not shaming yourself for feeling envy, but using that envy as information to move forward. If we're comparing ourselves to somebody else, that means I'm removing myself out of the picture. I don't want to live a life where there's no room for me, because I'm inviting all these other people that I'm comparing myself to in the room, and I don't exist in there. So that means if there is Cheryl, Kathy, and Tom, and I want everything they have, I'm jealous of them, I'm comparing myself to them, where's Samantha? Where is Samantha? If I start striving to be and have what each of these people have, I actually don't really know what I want myself. That means I'm just attaching myself to whatever looks good, or feels different from my own situation. It doesn't mean that that's actually what's meant to fulfill me. So my responsibility is to go back to self-reflection and make space and room for me. So how do you make more and more and more and more room for yourself? When you talk about wanting to share this information with your daughters, and how do you teach them? How do you teach your daughters to be giants? You teach them by not showing them that you comparing yourself to an ant. When you show up in parenthood as a giant, and they have a model of someone who's not willing to shrink themselves because of wanting what other people have, then your daughters see that. They feel that. Have conversations with them and say, hey, listen, I saw what such and such had, what they had. I wanted that. I know what that feels like when they come and talk to you. And they will come and talk to you because why? We're having open communication with our children about our feelings because we are humans, not superhumans. So we are being honest with our daughters and saying, hey, I have felt jealousy before. And I realized that that was shrinking my own potential. So you see what I'm doing now? I wouldn't be able to do that if I just stayed stuck in trying to figure out how to do what Tracy was doing, because that was Tracy's journey. My journey, my gifts, my purpose are not anchored to Tracy or anybody else. And that is what you teach your daughters. Because just like you have experienced this over and over and over again, they will too. So David and anybody else out there who is shrinking themselves, comparing yourself to someone else, stop it. Stop it. Make room for you in your own life and then show up. Just show up at the table and just make space. Keep on making space, making space, making space. We are giants. We are giants. So thank you for sending in this question. This question comes from Trish, and it's on relationships.
Hi, my name is Trish, and my question is it necessary to have a relationship in order to have a fulfilled life? I'm 26 female, and I have never been in a relationship. Often when I'm surrounded by my friends, I feel left out and I cannot relate to them. Even though I'm pretty successful in my life, I sometimes feel it would be nice to have someone to share my life with. I want to healthily approach this, but at the same time too afraid to make the wrong decisions. My previous dating experiences have left me ghosted, or there's always some communication gap. I wanted to do better and wanted some advice. Thank you.
Well, Trish, I'm so proud of you for all that you have done, for who you are for your friends, and the relationships that you are in. Relationships are hard, especially when we become adults. Trying to build relationships and explore vulnerability and intimacy, it all gets tricky, especially in a world where sometimes surface level is the norm. And you might be a person that prefers to go deeper with people. I know you mentioned in your question that you said you're too afraid to make the wrong decisions. There's no wrong decision. Explore. Be on an adventure with yourself, and that opens up the door to new people coming in, new opportunities. Relationships and intimacy comes in many forms. It might be a romantic partnership. It might be a new bestie. It might be a new pet. It might be all the things, but it starts with you being you and exploring so much about you and opening yourself up to what the world has to offer. And I hope that you give yourself permission to do that. It's also important to remember that you can hold two things at one time. You can yearn for an intimate relationship while also really enjoying yourself. Being solo, enjoying your alone time, enjoying the adventure of learning more about you. So when that intimate relationship comes into your life, you are greeting them as a whole person who's fully aware of what they want out of life, what is important to them, your own value system, so that you're able to truly connect with someone, let them know the things that you like, let them learn you and be curious about you. This is all very exciting. My hope is that you open yourself up to the adventure that you have access to. I'm excited for you, and I'm also just really proud of you, and I appreciate you for sending in this question because it is really hard to have this conversation with people. So I hope that this was helpful in answering your question. Our next question is from James, and we're going to be talking about workplace stress and mental health.
Hi guys, I'm James. I find it hard to go from work mode to dad mode in the evenings after work, and especially on the weekend. I find the difference between the two really hard to navigate, especially when I feel tired and have low patience. Can you offer any advice?
James. Thank you so much for writing in and sharing your question. This experience that you're having is not just yours. So many people, including myself, have this experience, especially because I work remote, and being able to create that separation from one to the other is really, really difficult. Sometimes we think our brain sort of just knows our habits. It knows what we're planning to do. It doesn't. It only knows what we train it to do. Until we start to make habits that let our brain know, hey, work is ending, home is beginning. The brain is just carrying over stress, negative energy, unexpected situations. It's just carrying that from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. And if you think about how we structure our days, we wake up, we start work. So we are obviously going to take the stress from the work day into the home instead of it going the other way around most times. What you could do is maybe consider how you want to train your brain. You can start with, in the morning, having some time for some mindfulness with yourself. So you're starting the day, really focusing on you or centering your needs. Maybe even spending some time with your family then, if there's time to do that. So it feels like you haven't really gotten tapped out of your energy just yet. And then when you go into the workplace, instead of pouring out your energy consistently throughout the day, create some spaces in between. Give yourself some breaks. Make sure you're drinking water. We don't even drink water during the day. Walk outside, go have a conversation with someone, sit and breathe for a few minutes. Like, let the brain know this is a safe space and here's where I'm transitioning from. Not just like workplace to home. The brain needs to know when you're transitioning from doing a project to a meeting. How do you know? How do you tell it that? You tell it that by taking breaks. Like saying, when I close out this app and open up this notebook, I'm doing something different, and be consistent. Remember, you are training your brain. Now, what that does is alleviate some of the stress and the tiredness you feel. The tiredness comes from the brain always going. But when you say, brain, I got you. I'm gonna make it feel safe as possible for you, then the brain is not as tired. That gives you more energy for your home life. And also explore if you need to set some boundaries, change some things about the way that you work. But I would definitely start with training your brain. Decide what things you need to put in place to let the brain know you are transitioning from one thing to the next thing. All right, James. So I appreciate you for sending in this question. I hope that was helpful. Remember, we're going to train the brain. Start there. Thank you again, and I hope this helps. And if you have any questions you'd like to submit for a future episode of Ask a Therapist, please reach out. I'd love to hear from you.